previous video, you learned how to do the productivity rating with the several example of observation with different operation. Now let's get back to one operation here that is placing concrete, and for the project that we are talking about is open, semi-open construction method lab near Home Seoul that you see the building in here. So yes, consider one crew and one operation which is placing concrete for the relative to the whole project that we are looking here. So with that, as you can see from the productivity rating, you can see that some people are working, some people are waiting, and the question becomes whether that crews is balanced, because why they are idle, why they are empty, why they are waiting for the other people to work, whether the the composition of crews are appropriate, get them up to get the optimal productive for this operation, and that come up with the method we're talking about, the crew balance chart. In that, here I observe one specific operation that is crew for the crew balance, which is the crew working on a paver, placing a paver, concrete paver on the pavement. And that project I observed 16 years ago in the Bay Area in California, and I have a team of four at that time, just like you about to have for the semester project. And in that, there are 4 or 5 members, crew members in that operation, and my task is observe one workers, in this case identified the orange shirt. Of course, when you go on site to observe something like yes, you see the color for the shirt, it look like the same, or here the light green. So you may differentiate with the boot, whether they are different, red boot, white, or with the hat, things like that. So when you observe, you may with the crew, you may assign one of your team member, observe one people or 2 people if there are multiple people in that operation for the crew balance, not about, and then not about the productive rating. You can observe any people at any random time that we talked earlier, and then this one you can observe one people or two for each team member, and you can identify and assign so that you can track that member to do the crew balance chart that I'm going to talk here. So this is one example, one form that for one of the worker that I observed in this operation, that orange shirt. I will put detail for other team members, other of my team members that observe other crew members in a few minutes. So you see that either time observed, and here every 15 second apparently that is observed, and I only observed one people in this case because that crew have 4 or 5 members only, and we have team of 4 or 5, team of 4. Then I only need to observe one. Then with that, at certain point, and first we need to do the pre-planning. What are the activity involved in the pavement? So in this case, including positioning or trial paving stone. So put the stone out to see whether it level, it good before we cut. Marking the stone, so they mark whether it okay or we have to cut. Transporting the stone to the cutter so that it marking, or I need to cut that. So transport and cut in the paving stone, and then transport the stone already cut to the area, position the stone on the path, and then it can be idle or sitting or waiting, etc. So those are the typical tasks involved for crew balance and for this operation. So first you need to observe um, what they are doing, what are the tasks involved, and fill out yes. So when you go outside, I suggest you to uh, the time, put the empty form and leave it blank in here, and put the activity when you observe, okay, what are the tasks discussed in your team, and see what are the tasks, sub-tasks involved in this specific operation. And that's what I did in here. So with that one, and you can see I take whenever I look at if he or that orange shirt here male, and if he at the time 2:30 45 seconds that he do positioning the paving stone, then a trial, then I tick in here. If at and if I observe in the next 15 second, next 15 second, do the same, so I can tick it here, but then go to the next 15 second, he transporting the stone to the cutter, then you click it in there, so you do the same. And most of the time, if they idle, you look at idle, you can do that as well. So that, and do the same for other team member, for others. With that information, and you can reassemble the time with other member, do the same, start observe at the same time with other members. We can be able to develop a crew balance chart for stone paving this activity. So for the crew balance is focused on one specific operation, in this case stone operation. I showed you earlier that it's specific for the placing concrete for that ground slab. And the one that I observed, I told you that in the orange shirt. So this is one member observed, orange shirt, that is only me. And then at certain point, you can start with that time, and you can see idle, and then positioning, marking. So keep doing here. So you see the first is idle, idle, then you have idle there. Keep continue. Cutting paving stone, positioning here. So you do the same for the process that you observe. In this case, I observe for from 4:30 to 40 to 40. So it means about 10 minutes for this operation. So how many minutes I need? It depends on the cycle time for the operation. Yes, the pavers tend to be short cycle, go cut, put it back. But some operation, it may be longer. It may need take longer to observe for that operation. My members, other members, look at other people, and we have 4 members, but here the group we have 5. So we may assign one team member will observe 2, and other 3 member observe 1. Me observe 1, my other member observe 1, and one of the member observe 2. So long beard just identify the person, and that what he involved. So you have it in there. So similarly, yellow hat, curly hair, and then black shirt. So all of that you can identify. So basically, this stone paving have a crew of 5, and you observe and you do the crew balance chart. So when you have that here, you can see the overall picture of who doing what. For example, here the yellow hat tend to do the blue one. So blue, what is blue? It tend to be a cutting paving stone. So what he do it, and the light blue basically it idle or standing. So wait, cut, wait, cut. Make sense? This curly hair mostly idle, and the purple positioning stone on part. So he put the stone back in there. And then this long beard, it tend to be positional trial, or the red is mean marking marks on the stone. So you have that. You see, it seems like some people specialize in certain work. So with that, you have a crew of 5, and you can be able to observe. So then we can simplify the crew balance chart just to classify, condense. GC idle, condense, group all of the idle time, group all of the work that have involved cutting paving stone. You can do that as well. So you can combine that. So you can see who really more active, more productive. And that is not because he or she are not want to do the work, but the crew itself may not be balanced. So as you can see here, the long beard seems to be the most productive if he do the work marking on the stone most of the time, in this case more than 65%. The yellow hat tend to be the less productive, and as you can see, the less productive only cut paving stone, but waiting for other people to put the stone for him. So it's not not his fault, because that you have to wait for stone to map before I cut. Otherwise, I have to wait. So that why you see that is not because certain worker are not productive because of him or herself, but because the way that we organize the crew are not balanced. So that, as you can see, very important. We need to plan. We need to find a way to improve productivity just with this simple method that I show you in there. So with that, you can see what are initiatives we need to take, and whether we need to put uh, uh, yellow hat maybe do the multitasking when cutting, can help other to transport the material to cut. Out of that, you can improve productivities, or you can reduce one member and then allocate on other members. So otherwise, at this point, when we observe, you see that overall 50% or more people tend to be not productive. So that you can suggest for improvement and revise the balance in the reading you have on of that one in there. And then we can map the process, and yes, we will talk in the coming lesson, which is the how to develop the uh, process flow diagram. That's something like this, and that the next lesson you will learn. And in this case, for this cruise, we have 5 members: long beard, black shirt, orange shirt, yellow hat, curly hair. So this is crew members, worker, you see there. And procedure, those are the tasks that we have. So for the tasks that you learn in the coming lesson, it will be represented at a rectangle, something that inventory or storage, that is triangles, and the arrows, solid, stand for flow of material. If the flow of information, it will be the last arrow. We will talk about that in the next lesson, and then we'll be able to see how the people assigned to work. So apparently, the long beard tend to do the positioning, paving stone, and measuring, and the measuring and marking on the paper. Black shirt, measuring. Orange shirt tend to transport the stone, transport back. Yellow heart tend to cut, and the curly hair tend to position the paper stone on the part. So do the finished product, as you can see there. So that you can see the overall picture of the process look like. And like I say, to draw this with the different symbol, you will learn that in the lesson improving productivity and performance number 2. And from that, we can develop the cycle time for this observation in terms of the second. So of course, like I say, depends on the operation, the cycle time. It may take minutes, it may take hours, etc. So this, we can be able to find out what are the sequence of work, and for to do a one finished product, what is the cycle time, and we learn that in the process cycle time in the next lesson as well. So in this case, we identified about 170 seconds for put one for one paper go through the process from the